So the year is 2167, Demons 1, Humanity's Toast. Amidst the ruins, a lone figure emerges from shattered stone, and it is our boy Si Chen, the last one left breathing. This story jumps back 7 years to when the Demon Kings first arrived, where this charming Demon King calls humanity's last hope fragile trash, and now he is ready to fulfill Si Chen's only remaining purpose, which, surprise, is to become a power-up snack for the big guy. So he blasts our boy with some kind of soul-sucking beam, but as Si Chen's getting ripped apart, he thinks of his sister. Then his comrades and his master, everyone he has ever lost. All that loss fuels a final, desperate rage. As he vows to drag this demon straight to hell with him, he unleashes his ultimate skill, Terminus Arc, a massive light show, completely paralyzing the Demon King, who is naturally shocked. Our boy is literally shattering, burning out his own life force. His life flashing before his eyes, starting with his sister. Next, a memory of his master appears in another fragment, and finally his parents as he accepts he was not strong enough. His last thought is just pure regret over his own limits, while the Demon King gets vaporized, still spouting his trash talk. His final thought is a desperate wish to go back, to somehow stop the very first Demon King. Maybe then he would not have lost everything so damn early. And then after total darkness, a light just flicks on, as Si Chen's eyes snap open and they are glowing red. He is lying fully clothed on a bed in some tiny room, and the kid's first thought is, wait, I am not dead. Looking around, he has absolutely no clue where he is, so he stumbles over to the window to get a look outside, only to see a school infirmary with people just walking around. Our boy is completely baffled since the world was supposed to be toast. But after a moment of pure denial, he starts to accept it, realizing he has somehow been sent 10 years into the past. Just then, some kind of system interface activates in his vision, announcing the power of gluttony has finished integrating, and a nearby screen confirms the date, May 16, 2157. That gives him a 3-year head start before the demons arrive, which means he knows exactly when the first one, Wrath, will show up. It was Wrath who opened the gates of hell for all the others. This very start of the apocalypse that cost him everything. With this second chance, his plan is simple: take out Wrath first, and if he pulls that off, he can stop the apocalypse before it even starts. Right on cue, the system confirms his new power of gluttony is fully installed, and Si Chen finally asks what this weird floating screen is all about, poking at the glitchy data stream hovering in front of him, which resolves into a full-on video game stat sheet, much to his surprise. His name is on it, he is level 1, and all his stats are a suspiciously perfect 100, which is totally new to him. Back then, he just had his one awakened power. This world's power system is a whole elemental rock-paper-scissors deal. And a quick flashback reminds him he was at the very bottom of that food chain, so that is asterisk why he woke up in the infirmary. He was literally a punching bag. But then something on the interface glitches into view, showing a card for a lightning-type assassin class. And our boy has a sudden flashback. That was asterisk his asterisk class in his past life, as he feels the old power inside him, wondering if it came back with him, which would mean he is awakened years ahead of schedule. Naturally, he decides to test it out right then and there, but the door to his room suddenly snaps open, and in walks this kid Ma Long, an E-rank flower chanter. This guy rushes over to check on him, completely oblivious to Si Chen's secret power-up moment. Si Chen plays it cool, confirming his friend cannot see the game interface, while Ma Long has a complete meltdown over his magically healed injuries. This, our boy recalls, is his old university roommate Ma Long, who in the last timeline died 3 days into the demon invasion. Seeing him alive and well finally makes it sink in, he is really back. Ma Long quickly snaps him out of his 1,000-yard stare, remembering the rank test tomorrow, and starts dragging him out the door to go get ready for it. They step out onto a campus that is, for once, not a smoldering crater, with students casually practicing their powers all over the place, and others just enjoying a normal apocalypse-free game of soccer. Si Chen's grim comment about seeing so many living people totally weirds Ma Long out, who nervously suggests they just stick to the playground for a bit. But our boy is just remembering the world he lost, getting a flash of the ruined future that awaits if he does nothing, which lights a fire under him to get strong, and get strong asterisk now asterisk. This problem is, the only way to level up is in demon lairs, all monopolized by guilds. He wonders how his new stats even stack up against other awakeners, in a world where power is ranked from S down to E with most students at the bottom. Looking at his own level 1 status, he tries to guess what rank he'd get. Then glances at Ma Long and thinks, well, at least I am stronger than asterisk him. And his friend immediately gets a basketball straight to the face, which sends Ma Long to the pavement, glasses totally shattered. Watching from the steps is a welcoming committee of local jerks, and their leader sarcastically comments on how fast they recovered. Ma Long is absolutely terrified, realizing who they have run into, while Si Chen just stares them down, completely unfazed. This head bully smirks, telling his crew he knew these two were tough, then demands they bring him drinks for interrupting his game. Poor Ma Long immediately folds, ready to run off and buy them, but Si Chen stops him cold, saying they are the ones who should apologize. This bully just doubles down, saying he knew they could take a beating. Suddenly, Si Chen recognizes this guy, and some very unpleasant memories come flooding back. He remembers being held underwater, fighting for air, because this same crew used to hold his head in a toilet. Back then, Ma Long could only beg them to stop, while the leader claimed he was just helping him awaken his powers, by trying to stimulate him a bit. His whole crew thought this was absolutely hilarious, of course, and when Si Chen passed out, they just got bored and left, leaving Ma Long to desperately check on his unconscious friend. This memory hits hard, his past self wondering why they are always the target. Because it turns out human malice is just as bad as any demons, and this guy decided messing with him was a great hobby, which brings us to now with the same bully demanding tribute drinks. Ma Long immediately offers to become their personal delivery boy, but Si Chen stops him, saying the apology is owed to them, leaving the head bully completely baffled by this sudden spine, while Ma Long has a full-blown panic attack over this new development. This is our villain Gong Cheng, an E-rank flower warrior, real intimidating, who apparently only gets away with this because his big bro is student council president. A crowd gathers, of course, eager for the daily beatdown show, calling them the two most useless guys in school, which is just lovely. So Gong Cheng gets right in Si Chen's face, powering up his leafy fists, demanding he repeat what he just said, and Si Chen just tells him to get lost and leave them alone. Which naturally earns him a fist to the face, or so the bully thinks, because our boy just catches the punch like it is absolutely nothing, stopping the attack cold and making the bully wince in pain, and the entire crowd just loses their minds at the sight, wondering how the unawakened kid just did that. Did their eyes break? Gong Cheng is absolutely livid, calling him an unawakened weakling for daring to fight back. But Si Chen just smirks, deciding this is the perfect time to test out his new class. As the system confirms his electric assassin job is now fully online, and Ma Long's brain just short-circuits, asking when the hell he awakened. Si Chen just stands there looking cool, lightning casually sparking around his fingers, so the bully powers up his indestructible demon armor, which sounds way cooler than it is, yelling about how Si Chen's about to remember his so-called killer jab. Our boy just zips past the telegraph punch like it is in slow motion, then lands a lightning-fast counter right on the guy's jaw, sending Gong Cheng flying across the court in a very undignified arc. This whole crowd, including Ma Long, is just staring in total disbelief. From the ground, the bully accuses him of a sneak attack. Sure, buddy. He then screams at his crew to stop watching and actually do something. His friends, however, are suddenly very interested in standing perfectly still. Because Si Chen is now standing over them looking like a literal demon. Gong Cheng gets up anyway, screaming he is gonna kill him in a fit of rage, only for Si Chen to catch his punch again, effortless as ever. He twists the bully's arm back, making him squeal in pain, then tells him flat out that he is just too weak, before delivering another brutal, lightning-charged punch right to the face. This punch sends Gong Cheng absolutely flying across the court, where he smashes into the bleachers with a brutal, wall-cracking impact, leaving him a bloody, broken heap against the concrete. With the bully's crew already booking it, Si Chen just stands there totally unfazed, while Ma Long's brain has officially short-circuited over this sudden power-up. Even Si Chen seems to be processing how ridiculously strong he has become, and looking at his stats again, he starts putting the pieces together. First, he can still tap into his electric assassin power whenever he wants. And second, even at level 1, he is way stronger than any E-rank scrub. But then he realizes there is a pretty big catch to all this. He just wiped the floor with this guy, yet his stats have not budged an inch. So a very dark idea starts to form as lightning gathers in his hand, which makes Ma Long and the entire crowd collectively lose their minds. Si Chen grabs the bully by the face, ready to test his grim new theory, wondering if gaining experience works the same way it did in the future, which apparently involves a much more permanent solution. Suddenly a voice cuts in, reminding him this is a school for learning, and it is Ling Yu, the student council VP, here to shut down the fun. She smirks at Gong Cheng, promising he is safe now. So Si Chen lets the bully drop, turning his attention to the new arrival. Si Chen coolly explains he was not actually going to kill the guy. But if you do not make an example out of trash, it just keeps coming back. This crowd is still trying to process how the school's biggest loser just did all that, while Ma Long is already dragging him away from the scene. Ling Yu just smirks, telling her crew it is time to clean up the mess, and later that night, back at the men's dorm, Ma Long is having a full-on meltdown trying to explain the lightning assassin thing, but his other roommates are just not buying this sudden glow-up story. One of them, Xiang Zhu, asks where this supposed powerhouse even is, then grabs Ma Long, yelling that strong awakeners do not need to go jogging. This other roommate, Xiang Yu, figures Ma Long just got hit in the head too hard. As Xiang Zhu reminds everyone they are literally the 4 worst students in school, he then powers up, declaring himself the strongest in the room, a real king of the losers. This guy scoffs at the idea of Si Chen being strong, then flexes about maybe joining a club. But Xiang Yu just says the rank test is tomorrow, which will settle everything. Meanwhile, at an E-rank training lair, some serious business is going down, where we meet Gong Ting, the student council president, and Gong Cheng's big brother. He wraps up his training session looking every bit the elite he is, only to find his little brother waiting for him, all bandaged up like a mummy. And Gong Cheng immediately starts whining, demanding his big bro avenge his honor. Gong Ting listens to his brother's sob story, looking completely unimpressed, then calmly promises to handle it, which sounds super ominous. Meanwhile, the student council president is enjoying a very fancy steak dinner, and when his associate asks for the plan, he just says his brother was weak. Gong Ting wonders if this Si Chen kid is actually a big deal, but his companion points out he has already recruited all the D-rankers in school. She adds that scrubs have no way to level up without his resources, so nobody can possibly catch up to him. Cut to see Chen training in the rain. Our boy is out here doing a 20 km run with 100 kg of weights, because an Awakener's power is tied directly to their physical limits, yet even this brutal training is nowhere near enough for him. We get a flashback to the Demon King Wrath absolutely wrecking the world, which is how his sister died right in his arms. This same Demon King also opened the gates for all the others to invade, giving Si Chen a very clear, very personal first objective, to kill the literal Demon King of Wrath. He has got 3 years before the big guy shows up, so the grind has to be insane. Just then his phone starts buzzing in his pocket, showing an incoming call from someone named Si Yun. He picks up, looking a little caught off guard by the call. On the other end of the line is his sister, Si Yun, explaining her phone died during a competition, and she is hyped about winning prize money, while Si Chen is just hit with the fact this is the exact do-over he prayed for. She asks why he is so quiet, completely unaware she is talking to a guy who thought she was gone forever, and our boy is just trying not to break down, thinking any price is worth hearing her voice again. He finally chokes out that it has just been a long time, a comment that makes absolutely zero sense to her, so she just calls him weird, promises to see him soon, and hangs up to go win her match. With the call over, Si Chen's resolve is harder than steel. This is his second chance, which means it is right back to the brutal training because he has a whole world to protect now. 8 hours into his new life, he is back in the dorm room, ready to plot his next move. He hits the shower, getting used to his past self's body, weaker sure, but it is a clean slate. After that emotional gut punch, it is time to focus on the biggest problem on his list, because leveling up means entering demon lairs, and those are all monopolized by the big guilds, meaning unless you're rich or connected, you're stuck at the bottom with no way to get stronger. Then he remembers another mysterious power he possesses, something called gluttony. And right on cue, a brand new system starts booting up in his mind. Welcome to the gluttony system, which apparently just drops you into a digital void. He gets pulled down into this strange new reality against his will, before making a very dramatic superhero-style landing on the ground, only to find himself in front of a massive, terrifying tower in some kind of hellscape. And Si Chen is understandably confused, asking how he got here when he was just in bed. Back in the dorm, his roommate just says he went for a run, but Si Chen wakes up in some kind of nightmare dimension, staring up at a seriously evil-looking tower. And of course, the place is crawling with E-rank skeletal hounds, so the system helpfully switches on his combat class, confirming his lightning assassin powers are good to go. His new class basically turns him into a human lightning bolt, which is terrible news for the pack of monsters charging right at him. Si Chen just blitzes through them like they are standing still, snagging some loot drops for his trouble. He is just an absolute whirlwind of kicks and lightning strikes. Realizing these E-rank chumps are a total joke now, better yet, he is finally getting experience points for his kills, triggering a glorious level-up screen almost immediately. He hits level 2 and all his stats get a nice little bump. As it dawns on him, he has his own private demon lair for solo grinding. Right on cue, the E-rank boss of the area shows up to say hello, so Si Chen decides it is time to really test his new limits. This boss gets absolutely shredded in a flash of light, netting him another level up and a sweet victory screen. He has already hit level 3, a nice little reward for his efforts. Then a new prompt pops up over the boss's corpse, devourable. Si Chen is understandably a little confused by this new menu option, wondering what exactly the system wants him to do with the body. A wild idea forms as he reaches out his hand, realizing this must be the true power of his gluttony skill. This monster's essence gets sucked into a swirling vortex of energy, which he calmly contains in the palm of his hand. And just like that, the system spits out a brand new monster card. Gotta catch 'em all, I guess. He can literally absorb his enemies and turn them into new classes for himself, which is, to put it mildly, a complete game breaker. Suddenly, a memory flashes through his mind, showing him a terrifying demon king from his past life. This demon was using the exact same absorption ability, a power that belonged to the demon king Lanyu, meaning Si Chen has somehow stolen a demon king's signature move. This system explains that everyone is supposed to be locked into one class, but our boy is now rocking 2 classes simultaneously. His mind starts racing with the implications of devouring even more monsters. Realizing he is on the path to possessing infinite classes, his mind is racing, wondering how he even got this power, and what in the world this giant, evil-looking tower is, when suddenly an immense power crashes down from above. This pressure is so intense he can barely even think straight, and a voice echoes out saying it has been waiting for him. This hooded nightmare then calls him by name, Si Chen. As a system pop-up helpfully explains the ranking scale from E to S, and just the aura from this thing is enough to bring him to his knees. He remembers nearly dying just to hit S rank before, but now he is barely a D because the guy in front of him is a full-blown S rank boss, leaving Si Chen to wonder what kind of messed up lair this is, and more importantly, how this monster knows his name. They have already exchanged blows, but the boss is just toying with him, sending our boy flying with another casual strike, and every single hit deliberately avoids his vital spots. This boss mockingly asks if he is still struggling, real nice guy, making Si Chen realize this is not a fight to the death, it is a test of will. Then comes the job offer, guard this demonic tower with him, what a great career move. But Si Chen's answer is a hard pass on staying in this hellhole, which immediately earns him a purple laser beam right through the chest. That laser leaves a nasty hole right through his chest, and the boss says he has only been patient because Si-Chen is special. Surrounded by a literal sea of glowing monster skulls, great decor, this hooded nightmare gives him one last chance to reconsider, offering a simple choice: stay or get crushed into a pulp. With lightning crackling in his eyes, Si-Chen makes his decision, and that decision is to kill the S-rank boss right here, right now. This monster just scoffs, calling the attempt ridiculous, while our boy zips through the air like a human lightning bolt, closing the distance for a high-speed counterattack. Because this whole time he has been analyzing his opponent's moves, he has figured out the boss has a 0.4-second wind-up before every swing, which is just enough time to predict the blade's path and dodge, and even better, there is a 0.2-second recovery lag after each strike. His new plan is to hit him right in that defenseless moment, aiming a lightning-charged attack straight for the heart. This lightning blade connects, paralyzing the S-ranker for a few precious seconds, but the boss was too fast, forcing Si-Chen to pop a 10x speed boost called Lightning God. Realizing this is not a fight to win, it is a chance to escape. He has already spotted his exit, the only source of light in this entire hellscape. Si-Chen makes a desperate leap for the light, his only escape route. But just as he gets close, the light source completely vanishes, because it was all a cruel illusion and this is not even a demon lair. This boss is actually impressed, calling his analysis interesting, before revealing his true form and calling Si-Chen the one who can bring hope. A look our boy recognizes instantly from the Demon King Lanyu, triggering a flashback to the final, brutal battle of his past life, where he went head-to-head with that very same king, a monster who could swap between high-rank classes effortlessly, shifting from a fiery beast to an ice dragon in a heartbeat, then into some kind of terrifying forest creature. And even a holy-looking being, this guy had options. Lying on the ground, Si-Chen remembers every single one of those forms, including one that was a massive purple-armored demon, which is the exact same form this S-rank boss is wearing right now. This horrifying thought hits him: was this guy devoured by Lanyu's gluttony? Which leads to an even bigger revelation: this entire dimension is actually inside him. This boss seems pleased, saying Si-Chen has proven himself worthy of this place's power, and our boy is just trying to process what everything here even means. So the boss just hands over the SSS rank key of the void, the key to the tower. This boss explains this tower is a demon prison for everyone Lanyu ate, telling Si-Chen to devour them all and use them as fuel. Si-Chen is understandably confused why this guy is suddenly his biggest fan, but the boss has a classic revenge motive. The Demon Kings wiped out his entire family. For ages, he has been waiting for a champion, and our boy is apparently it. Si-Chen is still trying to keep up, asking who he is even talking about, so the boss just points to the tower, saying all the answers are inside. Then comes the ultimate parting gift. He offers up his own power for revenge, leaving our boy a little shocked by the sudden eat me request. This guy's final command is for Si-Chen to become unstoppable and clear the tower, with a friendly warning that the demons inside are way worse than he was. Super reassuring. To win, Si-Chen must conquer them all and stand at the top of the world, since the final mission is to devour every single one of the Demon Kings. As his body crumbles, the boss begins his final dramatic speech, saying only a man with Si-Chen's kind of insane resolve is actually worthy of inheriting his power, and then he is just gone. A loading bar pops up as Si-Chen starts absorbing all that S-rank energy, followed by the system confirming the power-up with a devouring screen. This massive boost shoots him straight to level 10, complete with new daggers. With a new sense of purpose, Si-Chen accepts the mission and the boss's will. With the devouring complete, he gets a brand new Purgatory Rakshasa class card, vowing to make his enemies pay. And then the scene abruptly cuts to a bright, sunlit room, as a voice shouts for everyone to get up, yanking Si-Chen from his thoughts. He sits up in a bunk bed looking completely lost, while his roommates rush to put on school uniforms, making him realize he is back in his dorm. This hole in his chest is gone, so he wonders if that whole tower thing was just a fever dream. But his system menu proves it was all real. He even kept the loot. Hitting level 10 overnight, he is curious what rank he'd even be classified as now, when some guy with an extremely annoying haircut gets right in his face. This dude starts mocking him for supposedly bragging about becoming a powerhouse, and his little buddy in the back is sweating bullets, clearly not built for confrontation. This bully then accuses Si-Chen of trying to steal his prestigious title as top of the dorm. The stakes are astronomical. Si-Chen just gives him a dead-eyed stare as the guy challenges him to the upcoming rank test. Later, the bully is walking outside, monologuing while inhaling a pastry. He is explaining to his crew that while they are all lowly E-ranks, he is a mighty mid-asterisk E-rank. A chart helpfully breaks down the tiers, with him boasting he could beat 10 low ranks at once. His friends cheer him on as Si-Chen follows behind, probably trying his best not to laugh out loud. A well-meaning classmate tells him to aim for D-rank to scare the guy off, which is just adorable. This bully struts ahead, completely oblivious to the S-rank monster walking behind him. Turning around, he calls out to Si-Chen, ready to start a fight he has absolutely no chance of winning. It is the day of the big rank test, and the whole university is gathered out front. Inside, some of Gong Cheng's lackeys are busy being classic hallway bullies, giving off such a tough guy vibe that everyone else knows to steer clear. Suddenly, they lock eyes with Si-Chen and the bystanders absolutely panic, but our boy just stands there, completely unfazed by the attention. This bullies, however, look like they have just seen a ghost, stammering his name in terror, before bowing down and calling him Big Brother, a slight change in attitude. Gong Cheng is just watching from the side, his brain short-circuiting at this sudden display of respect, while Si Chen strolls past them without a word, not even giving them a glance. Then a new voice calls out and his eyes flash red with annoyance. A smarmy-looking guy in a floral shirt introduces himself as Jiang Jian from the student council, helpfully explaining that Gong Cheng is the little brother of their president, so this is about nepotism. This crowd immediately recognizes the new guy, whispering about his student council status, and they are terrified because he is a D-rank powerhouse. Oh, the humanity. This guy gets way too close, boasting about his keen sense of smell for the powerful, but then says all he smells on Si Chen is the stench of a total weakling. He keeps sniffing the air, doubling down on his ability to detect true strength. Concluding that our boy just smells like a permanent bottom feeder, great detective work there. Si Chen's only response is to ask if he is a dog or something, and Jiang Jian is absolutely floored, completely losing his cool at the comeback. But then a new voice cuts in, telling Jiang Jian to knock it off, and the student council president reveals he knows Gong Cheng started the whole thing, declaring that people who do wrong have to pay the price, no exceptions. He gives them a final, icy stare, and the matter is officially closed. Si Chen just watches from the side, his red eyes glowing with pure apathy, as an announcement calls everyone to the testing ceremony which is about to begin. This president walks off, casually dismissing Si Chen as no threat at all, famous last words. Meanwhile, someone else is watching the whole event from a window high above, a woman asking her companion if he has spotted anyone worth their attention. And with a smirk, she decides this year's test might actually be interesting. Down below, the first student is called up, some guy named Xiang Zuo, who gets all fired up, ready to unleash his true strength. Let us see it, buddy. This kid steps into a glowing portal to begin his private evaluation, finding himself in a dark room filled with strange, pulsating wires. His goal is to blast a suspended demon heart with all his energy. So he unleashes his best Kamehameha impression right at the core. His energy slams into the device with a massive flash of light, which the heart absorbs, its creepy single eye lighting up in response. That power gets transmitted to a machine outside to calculate his final rank, and the grand result is a mighty mid-tier E rank, truly the stuff of legends. This test proctors log the mid-E rank score, wondering where the rest of the data is. While some kid in the crowd is absolutely vibrating with excitement for the main event, because this machine does not just measure power, it also calculates your future potential. And this guy's potential is a solid C, not exactly a ticket to the big leagues. With his final score locked in, the poor dude is devastated he did not even make D rank. So his friends try to console him with the classic, "Do not worry, we are even bigger losers," pep talk. It is a whole pity party as a montage of E rank results flashes by, with everyone looking miserable. But then a D grade with B potential pops up and the crowd absolutely loses their minds, as the first D ranker of the year celebrates, making everyone go nuts. A little later, another D ranker casually strolls out, this one with a potential, and the other students are just floored, realizing that is the 8th D rank they have seen. Even the proctors are impressed, noting this year's batch of students is unusually talented. Then the next tester is called and some very important-looking shoes step forward, belonging to none other than the student council president Gong Ting, looking impossibly smug. This crowd immediately starts whispering about his countless titles and guild connections, but Si Chen just watches from the sidelines, his face a perfect mask of "I could not care less." Everyone's buzzing, remembering he hit D rank 2 years ago and wondering what he will score now. As he steps into the chamber to face that same creepy, wired-up demon heart, its single, massive eye just staring blankly, waiting for the test to start, and Gong Ting stands before it, ready to show everyone his true power. Gong Ting monologues that he will hold back a bit just to make his big reveal more dramatic. Because even so, he is planning to be the #1 in school history. Aim high, buddy. His results start processing on the big screen with the potential meter glowing an intense yellow, which makes one of the proctors do a spit take, completely shocked by the color. Then the final score drops, a high-tier D grade with a massive S for potential. This reveal sends the entire crowd into a screaming, chaotic frenzy, led by Jiang Jian, who is having a full-on fanboy meltdown for his president. Everyone else is just stunned they are witnessing history, while Si Chen looks bored, and the proctors immediately decide this needs to be escalated to their superiors. This crowd whispers that an S-rank potential is a national treasure, not to mention the son of a guild leader, letting Gong Ting soak in the adoration with an impossibly smug look on his face. Meanwhile, the two observers from the window are watching the whole thing unfold. As the university principal, Yuan Long, assumes she came just to see Gong Ting's big moment, but the woman casually denies it, saying she is not here just for him, adding with a sly smirk that she is more interested in someone else, someone whose performance she is really looking forward to, cutting right to Si Chen. And right on cue, the announcer calls the next tester to the stage, Si Chen. Jiang Jian immediately gets in his face, telling him not to bring shame to their dorm, laughing hysterically about how they will be a laughingstock if he gets another low E rank. And then he points out Si Chen's equally low-ranked roommates, calling them all a disgrace. One of his roommates screams that Si Chen is about to shock them all. On the big screen, Si Chen's name pops up as he steps into the portal. Gong Cheng looks on, while Jiang Jian just laughs at the whole situation. Inside the testing room, he floats down towards the demon heart. Its creepy single eye snapping open, ready to measure his power. With his eyes glowing red, Si Chen knows this is his only shot at a future, because this test is just a prelude to the real graduation combat assessment. For that, students have to form their own 10-person squads, with the winning team getting a golden ticket straight into the Imperial Guild, which is why Jiang Jian is already busy recruiting another D ranker for their team. He boasts to Gong Ting that their squad is now full of D ranks, making victory a sure thing. This whole system is designed to create a strongest team with Gong Ting as the obvious MVP, which naturally means a weakest team gets left in the dust like Si Chen's poor roommates. Back in the present, one of those roommates starts to worry about how long Si Chen's been in there. This screen is still completely blank, showing no results at all. Other students start laughing, assuming his power is too pathetic to even register. Jiang Jian tells the president they should just leave since the rest are losers anyway. Gong Ting agrees, ready to head out with his new super team, but just as they turn to go, the rank display starts glitching like crazy, and then a high D rank flashes on screen, leaving everyone absolutely stunned. Si Chen's roommates are just standing there, completely shell-shocked. While one of them absolutely erupts, screaming, "I told you so," at the top of his lungs. Gong Ting and his crony are just frozen in disbelief, their smug attitudes completely shattered, because the system itself is glitching out, detecting instability and demanding a retest. Inside, Si Chen calmly notes that was just his base form, no class equipped at all, so he casually initiates his first class switch, becoming the Infernal Death King to test out his so-called weakest build. Back outside, the rank display flickers from a D and then jumps straight to a mid-C rank, sending his friends into another screaming fit of pure unadulterated confusion. Gong Ting is already in full denial mode, insisting the machine has to be broken, while the proctors get the same system error, totally baffled by the changing results. This demon heart, meanwhile, is sweating profusely, looking absolutely terrified. As Si Chen decides his other classes must be way stronger and starts another switch, this time becoming the Purgatory Rakshasa to see its full power. And now the poor demon heart is just screaming in pure existential terror, right before a massive vortex of purple energy bursts out of the testing chamber, tearing a swirling, ominous hole in the sky above the school. Everyone just stares up in horror, with Gong Ting wondering what the hell is happening. But his roommates know history is being rewritten and their dorm just produced a god. This rank display is still glitching out like a broken VCR, but then the potential meter solidifies into a massive golden S rank, sending the proctors into a full-blown panic, screaming about another S potential. Even Gong Ting is just staring, his jaw on the floor, completely rattled. A warning message flashes across the screen, the system unable to process the result, which quickly escalates to a full-on system error alert, because his potential is so high it is literally undetectable, breaking the machine's maximum load. One of his roommates is just losing his mind, screaming in glorious, vindicated disbelief. And then the entire testing chamber just explodes from the inside out, throwing the proctors back as they yell that the demon heart is overloading. They rush inside the sparking, ruined chamber to check on Si Chen, only to find a scene that leaves them completely speechless. This demon heart, the core of the entire machine, is just dead, a shriveled husk. As they wonder if it just burned out, Si Chen casually walks away from the scene of the crime, thinking to himself how he accidentally choked it to death but got a nice prize for it. Turns out his power of gluttony just devoured the rank machine core, giving him a new perception skill. Our boy then strolls out of the wrecked portal like he just finished a light workout, his eyes glowing a new, brilliant cyan as he activates his new toy. With his new demon heart vision, he can now see everyone's true rank, how convenient. And with that new power, his eyes scan the crowd, seeing the world for what it really is. His new vision cuts right through the BS. Gong Ting is just a mid-C rank. This proctor's announced testing is suspended because the demon heart died from excessive strain, dismissing Si Chen's results as a total error and telling everyone to come back tomorrow. His roommates, however, are already treating him like a god, demanding to know what he wants for dinner. Jiang Jian immediately starts screaming that it was obviously a glitch, because a loser like Si Chen could never score that high. He then blames our boy for breaking the machine and wasting the student council's precious time, which makes Si Chen's hands start crackling with energy, his patience officially gone, and his eyes glow as he seriously considers just crippling the guy right here and now. But Gong Ting steps in, telling his crony to stop disrespecting their new teammate. This word teammate sends Jiang Jian into a state of pure, unadulterated shock. Gong Ting then formally invites Si Chen to join his elite squad for the graduation assessment, but Si Chen just gives him a dead-eyed stare, completely unmoved by the offer. Everyone in the background is just losing their minds over the personal invitation from the president. One of the current team members starts sweating bullets, realizing he is about to get kicked off the team. This guy absolutely fumes, wondering what gives Si Chen the right when others bribed their way on. Since the president gave the order, Jiang Jian reluctantly extends a handshake, forcing a smile so fake it could curdle milk as he welcomes Si Chen, and Si Chen just slaps his hand away, flatly saying, "Not interested." This leaves Jiang Jian completely humiliated, his hand just hanging there in disbelief. Gong Ting's smug facade finally cracks, his eyes narrowing at the blatant rejection. Jiang Jian absolutely loses it, screaming about how their team is #1 in the school. But Si Chen, with his eyes glowing red, just tells him to shut up and get lost. As our boy walks away, Jiang Jian is left literally spitting fire with rage, which leaves the entire crowd completely speechless at his gutsy rejection. A few students start speculating that Si Chen is aiming for first place all on his own, while his roommates are just dying laughing at the shocked faces of the student council crew. Gong Ting, however, plays it cool, telling his crony that Si Chen just has his own ideas. The students begin to disperse from the testing grounds, the main event now over. Up in the window, the principal is bummed they did not team up for a new school record, but the woman with him finds this whole situation far more interesting. She explains that for a silver spoon kid like Gong Ting, this is a straight-up declaration of war, and their president, she warns, is not someone you want to mess with. Down below, Jiang Jian is still ranting that Si Chen's C rank was just a machine error. Gong Ting, though, considers the slim chance it was real, vowing to protect his top spot. His loyal goon then offers to go teach him a lesson on the president's behalf, making Gong Ting ask if he looks that petty, which sends Jiang Jian into a panic. He then dismisses his crony, telling him to handle team stuff on his own, adding with glowing eyes that whatever he does has nothing to do with him. Jiang Jian is left looking confused for a hot second, processing that little disclaimer, and then a truly nasty grin spreads across his face, message received loud and clear. 10 minutes later, Jiang Jian gets a little tip that Si Chen is not at school. His informant says our boy just up and left for home, not even stopping for lunch. Jiang Jian crushes a can, thinking the universe is practically begging him to be a menace. And with a truly unhinged grin, he decides to set up an ambush outside the school grounds. Unbeknownst to him, Si Chen is thinking the exact same thing. It is easier to be ruthless out here. He strolls down the street, completely unfazed by the impending confrontation. Our boy flashes back to his past life, remembering a top-tier guild getting wiped out in a demon lair. They ran into something called Wrath, a massive vortex of pure destructive energy. A horrifying monster annihilated the entire team, and that is all he knows about it. So in this life, his first big goal is to find that demon lair and get ahead of the disaster. But first, he needs a whole lot of cash, which brings him to a very fancy building. This is the Mithril Monster Exchange, a place he knows will become the country's biggest gear hub. He walks inside, knowing this is the fastest way to fund his future operations. Si Chen casually drops a handful of monster fangs onto the counter. This clerk, a real piece of work, looks down his nose and asks where a student got these. Our boy just says they are a monster drop, leaving the guy totally stumped. Luckily, his pink-haired colleague recognizes them as fangs from an E-grade Sangson beast. This main clerk scoffs, dismissing the E-grade junk and telling her to shut up. He then puffs out his chest, bragging that they only serve VIPs with D-grade loot or higher. What a tool. Internally, though, he is just whining about the lack of rich customers and his stalled career. This clerk whines about this troublesome kid, deciding to dump him on the newbie. So he tells his pink-haired colleague to handle the rest, acting like a big shot, and she politely hands over a bag with the cash for his monster fangs. Si Chen checks the total, 18,000, just enough to cover rent for now, but that was just the warm-up because he has got another item to show. Our boy summons a massive glowing purple greatsword right there in the shop, leaving his new friend absolutely stunned by the awesome-looking weapon. She guesses it has to be at least B-grade, maybe even a grade, but the snob scoffs, saying A-grade weapons are worth $1 million and he has never seen one. When a man in a suit steps in, announcing it is definitely not B or a grade, this clerk immediately turns into a bootlicker, praising the boss's sharp eyes. What a tool. This boss, a cool-looking guy with teal hair, identifies it as S-grade equipment from the Purgatory lands, and the clerk just absolutely shatters, screaming S-grade at the top of his lungs. Suddenly, the boss is all smiles, personally welcoming his new distinguished guest. Leading Si Chen to the VIP room for the full 5-star treatment. Si Chen just smirks, thinking he has finally found the guy he was looking for. This man's name is Qingzhai, a key player in his future plans. Inside the fancy VIP room, Qingzhai asks how he wants to handle the sword. Our boy, without even blinking, just says 1 million, leaving Qingzhai completely stunned by the absurdly lowball offer. Qingzhai lays it out. The sword's worth tens of millions, maybe more. But Si Chen is not selling. He wants a 1 million loan against it for a month. This boss is just floored, using an S-rank item for a simple loan. As he tries to figure our boy out, Si Chen just sips his drink, totally unbothered. He even offers to pay it back with 10% interest just to be nice. So Qingzhai dismisses the pink-haired clerk for a private chat. Alone in the room, the boss starts putting the pieces together. He correctly pegs Si Chen as a graduating senior from the top university, and connects the loan amount and date to the upcoming assessment's 1 million prize. With a smug little grin, he prepares to drop his big deduction, guessing Si Chen is already dead set on taking first place. This boss then points out the obvious. He must be desperate for cash right now, asterisk. And seeing an opportunity, he gets ready to make a counteroffer, proposing 1.5 million on the spot with 0 interest for a month. He extends a hand, framing this whole thing as a gesture of friendship. Suitor it is. Si Chen just stares for a second, a little caught off guard by the move, as the boss asks for future business, sealing the deal with a promise of secrecy. Our boy is impressed. This is exactly why he sought this guy out. Realizing he cannot take down Wrath alone, he shakes the man's hand, because to achieve his goals, he is going to need some powerful allies. This mana contract is sealed with a glowing handprint, And just like that, 1.5 million hits Si Chen's account. Qingzhai then smoothly asks what he will use for the assessment, offering up some of his stores A rank and B rank gear, but Si Chen just says no need and summons a second S rank sword, which completely shatters the minds of everyone in the room. Now a young hero, Qingzhai practically rolls out the red carpet, even promoting the nice pink-haired clerk on the spot for not screwing this up. As he is about to leave, our boy remembers something important, telling the boss he has one more thing to buy. He hops in a cab, his business at the exchange now finished, arriving at a long-distance bus station with a clear purpose. This triggers a memory of his past life's constant money struggles, when he had to work grueling odd jobs just to make rent. He and his sister Si Yun were barely scraping by. All because she'd gotten into a prestigious arts academy. She tore up the acceptance letter, claiming it was too far away. But really, she gave up her dreams so she would not be a burden. Back in the present, he waits anxiously, realizing she is late, when a voice calls out bro, and he whips around in alarm. Instead of a warm welcome, he gets an earful for waiting in the wrong spot. It is his sister, Si Yun, wondering if he has overworked his brain again. But for Si Chen, it has been 7 long years since he has seen her alive. She just keeps teasing, asking if he is gonna help with her luggage or what, and gets right in his face, calling him an idiot for just spacing out. Then he just wordlessly pulls her into a massive hug, leaving his sister completely baffled by the sudden display of affection. He is just overwhelmed, finally reunited with the person he is fighting for. She is still processing this very unbrotherly behavior, which quickly turns into her fighting for her life. Dude, let go. After escaping the death hug, she asks if he got dumped, which he quickly denies, and the two walk off together, finally back in each other's lives. Si Chen is just soaking it all in, a second chance he never expected, vowing that this time he is going to protect her smile. Meanwhile, down the only road home, a welcoming party is getting ready. Jiang Jian's goons are lying in wait, ordered to jump Si Chen on sight. Their leader just itching to teach our boy a lesson about consequences. What a psycho grin. One of the cronies gets nervous, worried they might accidentally kill him, but the boss is too busy ranting about how some E-rank trash dared to disrespect him. From the shadows, Si Chen just tells them they are being too noisy and to get lost. This goon's orders are simple: cripple Si Chen so he cannot take the graduation assessment. And the hired muscle, a D-rank assassin, is just thrilled to be here. What a creep. Meanwhile, Si Chen and his sister are just walking home, completely unaware. Si Yun calls him out for acting strange, blaming it on exam pressure. She then roasts him, saying a blockhead like him could not possibly have love problems. Getting serious, she gives him a pep talk about how life is a long road, which immediately devolves into her singing a cheesy motivational song off-key. Si Chen just smiles, realizing she is sharp enough to know something's different. He tries to play it cool, but she just gives him the sure buddy side-eye. Internally, she decides he is just getting old and building walls like the books say. Just as the ambush crew spots them turning into a quiet alley, one of the thugs points out the girl, a slight complication to their plan, but their psycho leader thinks it is perfect since there are no cameras around. Suddenly, Si Chen's eyes flash with a dangerous glint. He feels them, and he instantly recognizes the aura of the rival student council gang. These thugs are shocked, realizing they have somehow been discovered already. Without a word, Si Chen calmly pulls out a pair of wireless earbuds and gently places them in his sister's ears, telling her to listen to a song he likes while she wonders when he got into music. She closes her eyes and smiles, completely shielded from the violence about to go down. Si Chen turns, his expression hardening instantly, and with glowing eyes he is ready to handle this little problem. This ambush crew is just a bunch of E-rank chumps led by a guy in a terrible shirt, while his sister is completely lost in the music, totally safe from the noise. This goons charge forward, thinking this is gonna be an easy job, but Si Chen is flashing back to the 7 years he spent without her, and all that pain and rage is fueling him right now. He is not about to let these idiots ruin his first day with his family. This first thug gets a foot planted directly in his face, sending him flying as his buddy just stares in disbelief. Meanwhile, Si Yun is just vibing, completely oblivious to the one-man army show, as Si Chen moves like lightning, ready to take out the rest. Another goon gets his jaw rearranged for his trouble. Our boy just tears through them, a blur of fists and fury. He even kicks a guy hard enough to shatter a wooden pole. Talk about overkill. This biggest goon tries to bring down a massive haymaker, which Si Chen catches with one hand like it is absolutely nothing, then proceeds to snap the guy's arm with a brutal twist, leaving the thug screaming his head off in pure agony, before a quick chop to the neck puts him down for the count. While his sister jams out to some cheesy lyrics, Si Chen just wrecks the entire crew, leaving the last few goons having a full-blown "what the hell is happening" meltdown, because our boy is literally glowing with an insane amount of power. He just keeps plowing through them one punch at a time. As the hired D-rank assassin finally realizes his backup is getting deleted, so the pro finally makes his move, leaping down with a knife, while giving himself a pep talk about being a top-tier cloud assassin. Delusional much. He is screaming about how he cannot possibly lose to this kid, right before Si Chen blocks his knife with a bare hand and decks him. That one punch sends the self-proclaimed top-tier assassin flying, completely ragdolling him across the entire alley with zero effort. This impact absolutely caves his face in. Not a good look, my guy, sending him spiraling downwards, already out cold before he hits the ground. He smashes into a concrete wall hard enough to leave a crater. From above, Si Chen just glares down into the dust, his eyes glowing red, and stands over the wreckage, calmly reminding the guy he was warned, asking if he has trouble understanding basic human speech. He repeats his very simple request one last time, "Do not bother me." That cold stare just drills into the guy a final, terrifying warning. This assassin is just a broken mess, realizing Si Chen is not just S-rank, he is way, way stronger. Grabbing the guy's own knife, Si Chen gives him a simple choice, shut up or die. And the professional assassin finally realizes, oh, he is asterisk actually going to kill me. That killing intent is so insane the guy's wondering what kind of hell the student has lived through. With a terrifying glare, Si Chen tells him to listen very, very carefully. He lays down the new rules, stay away from his sister, do not even asterisk look at her, or he is going to hunt them all down one by one, promising to erase them from existence without a second thought. This so-called pro is just a crying, blubbering wreck at this point, and with the message delivered, Si Chen casually walks away, leaving the trash behind. Meanwhile, the song is making Si Yun tear up and she has no idea why. She cannot shake the feeling that he has been through something terrible, and she just wants to tell him he is not alone, she has always been there for him. Which immediately flips to her yanking the earbud out, calling him an annoying drama queen. Her rant is cut short when Si Chen just holds out a gift box. Inside is a shiny golden pen and he just smiles, saying it is for her. She absolutely freaks out, it is the latest Mana holographic drawing pen. Knowing it costs a fortune, she demands to know where he got the cash. She feels like it is too much, but for him, this is about making up for failing to protect her dreams before. Clenching his bloody fist, he makes a silent vow for this life. He will protect everything about her while the goons he just wrecked beg for an ambulance. This new pen works like a charm, drawing pure light in the air, creating these amazing holographic fish, and she is totally geeking out over it. While she plays, Si Chen is just happily slurping down some noodles, but his sister immediately cuts through the fun, reminding him about rent priorities, dude. To which he just casually drops that he is paid for the entire year already, cooking up a terrible lie about a business partnership with a friend, Reunited, and she is buying absolutely none of it, knowing he is a terrible liar. Still, she cannot help but notice something different about him, realizing she has not seen him genuinely smile like this in forever, so she just puts a hand on his shoulder, telling her big bro not to overdo it no matter what he is hiding. He just gives a soft smile, taking her concern to heart. Meanwhile, in a much fancier place, a report comes in. Jiangdi's body is 60% fractures, and this guy staring at an aquarium learns it'll take over a month for him to recover. Turns out it is Jiang Jian, surprised his goon even found Si Chen, let alone got wrecked. A woman sitting nearby notes that this means the injured party is out of the graduation assessment. But Jiang Jian just dismisses him as a useless burden anyway, so much for loyalty. Just then, another man with a serious vibe steps into the room. This is Gong Xuan, a university director, and he brings up Si Chen's name again, apparently having just confirmed the internal results of the last ranking test. Gong Xuan confirms Si Chen is C rank, the only student officially ranked higher than Jiang Jian, and this news clearly does not sit well with our resident rich boy. Turns out Daddy invited a VIP to the graduation, so Jiang Jian absolutely cannot be upstaged. As a backup, Gong Xuan offers to have his niece fill a spot on the team if things go wrong. This niece, lounging like a Bond villain, seems totally on board with this little scheme, but Jiang Jian just scoffs, telling his uncle he worries way too much. He then drops the classic line, "I was not even using my full power, sure you were not, buddy." On assessment day, he is gonna show everyone the pecking order like a shark eating a clownfish, posing dramatically to declare he is the strongest one there is. Meanwhile, Si Chen is just finishing up a casual 100 km training run in the shower. With his money problems handled, he is ready to kickstart his real plans post-graduation. First on the list is winning the $1 million scholarship to pay off a loan. He needs to honor his contract with this Qingzhai guy, who he will need for future schemes. Lying in bed, Si Chen decides it is time for a little pre-exam grinding. He closes his eyes, logging into his personal power-up dimension, and the gluttony system boots up ready to go. This transports him to some hellish landscape with a seriously evil-looking tower. He just walks up to the base of this nightmare spire, completely unfazed. His system shows his weakest class is already a respectable mid-C rank. While his strongest class literally breaks the scanner, its power is just undetectable. His two other classes are still a complete mystery even to him, so he summons a casual SSS rank key to the magic tower, which slides perfectly into a massive glowing purple gate. Opening up a swirling vortex he is more than ready to test out. He gets immediately yeeted into the purple abyss, and pops out the other side looking a little surprised by the scenery. Landing in the fallen star wastes looks super cozy. Something immediately feels very, very wrong though, as he is slammed to his knees by an invisible force. Realizing the gravity here is 10 times stronger than normal, with the exit gone, he is stuck at 30% power until he kills the boss. Just then, a giant cosmic paw makes its grand entrance, revealing the floor's guardian is a B-rank phantom lion, so it is time for a class change as lightning crackles around his hand. He switches to his lightning assassin build, ready for a fight. This cosmic kitty lunges, claws out, and everything. But Si Chen zips right past it in a blur of yellow light, struggling against the heavy gravity for a counterattack. But his lightning stab to the neck completely fails to do anything, leaving him totally stunned that he actually missed the vital spot. This heavy gravity is completely nerfing his assassin build's precision. And this cosmic kitty is just cruising around like it owns the place, absolutely manhandling Si Chen with its raw, overwhelming power. So he decides it is time for a new plan, switching to his Purgatory Rakshasa class, a Star Warrior build that literally weaponizes the area's gravity for attack power. Time for some good old-fashioned brawling, using the warrior's insane strength bonus. He starts stacking all that gravity into one supercharged punch, amping up the downward impact force to absolutely ridiculous levels. And in this environment, his punch is now 60 times stronger than normal. This lion's face just screams, "Oh, I have made a terrible, terrible mistake." And Si Chen just unleashes a devastating gravity-powered haymaker from above, dropping a super heavy mode gravity bomb right on its head. That one attack completely drains him, leaving him gasping for air on the floor. But it did the trick. The lion is just a smear in a crater, and he gets some sweet loot. He even gets a level up for his troubles, standing over the wreckage. This system explains his Rakshasa class has a higher star multiplier than the assassin, which is why it is stronger, but he is worried it took everything just to beat one B-rank foe. It seems both of his current classes have not even broken the B-rank barrier yet. Then he realizes something is off about this whole fight. Because his gluttony system did not mark the monster as devourable like it should have. With the first floor cleared, he looks for the gate to the next level. But a horrifying thought starts to dawn on him as a massive black hole rips open the sky above, and a whole bunch of unfriendly eyes stare back from the void. He realizes the boss he just fought was not the real deal. That B-rank cosmic kitty was just a warm-up mob, oh dear. Suddenly, the actual boss and its friends pop out to say hello, and they immediately shred him to absolute pieces. This is what his system meant by endless pain, a non-stop monster mash, where the only rule is to endure the absolute worst of it, and somehow conquer everything they throw at him. Si Chen wakes up screaming in his bed, what a lovely dream. He is back in the real world, completely drenched in sweat. But the system makes sure all that phantom pain feels 100% real. To get stronger, he has gotta walk this road through purgatory, and it is just getting started. Cut to assessment day at the university auditorium. Director Gong Xuan is enjoying the show, looking smug as ever. Students are buzzing with gossip. The Guild Alliance bigwigs are here to watch, which explains why the graduation rules suddenly changed this year. Now every team needs 5 members with at least one high E ranker. Director Gong Xuan clears his throat, ready to drop some new rules for entertainment. He announces that all student ranks are now live on their wristbands. Time to team up, kids. Immediately, the whole auditorium lights up as everyone checks their new status, and the list is just a sea of D ranks and E ranks, setting the bar real low. But one student with glasses is completely freaking out, pointing at a massive error. Because right at the bottom of the list is Si Chen, now officially a low E rank. His friend is in total disbelief, asking how he could possibly be ranked so low. While the gossip mill starts churning, everyone remembers him testing as a C rank before. A couple of goons are absolutely thrilled, though, since this means he is no longer a threat. Si Chen just stares at the screen, knowing this makes him team less deadweight by design. His haters are loving it, gloating that he must be regretting turning down a big shot's invitation. Meanwhile, the student council president, Gong Ting, is watching all this with a cool expression. Up on stage, director Gong Xuan is just soaking in the chaos he has created, mentally scolding his nephew for being a brute instead of a proper schemer like him. Uncle's got a lesson planned, though: crush your enemies before they even get to compete. As students scramble to form teams, a stampede heads straight for Gong Ting, and a whole mob swarms the president, desperately begging to join his squad. This offers get pretty wild, with one girl literally volunteering to be his dog. Have some self-respect. His current teammates try to hold back the crowd, shouting they only have one spot left. 30 minutes later, a team is finally formed, their wristbands glowing in unison. While other teams celebrate, Si Chen's crew is left in the dust. His friend confirms it, nobody wants to join their sad little group. Stuck with only 4 people, they might not even get to compete. This glasses-wearing friend is fuming since Si Chen's rank is total BS. And Si Chen realizes the new rules are basically a targeted hit on their dorm. This assessment is their only shot at a future, so no pressure or anything. A helpful infographic explains more teammates just means more monsters. Which means nobody wants to be stuck carrying a bunch of low rankers. And what a shock, the 3 lowest ranked students are all from their dorm. Suddenly, one of their dorm mates gets a tempting offer. Another team tries to poach him, calling his friends E-rank trash. Our boy knows exactly what is coming, they are about to be abandoned. Without a 5th member, their chance to compete just evaporates. This poached student just says sorry. Before turning them down flat, he is not ditching his roommates. His would-be teammates call him an idiot for his loyalty. What a concept. This team roster is filling up fast, leaving them with 0 options. His friend is officially panicking, there are no high E ranks left. Si Chen, however, just stands there with glowing eyes, totally unbothered. Overseeing this whole mess is director Gong Xuan, who is clearly related to the top dog. Si Chen puts it all together, the director is rigging the whole system just to kneecap him. But our boy is not backing down, deciding to switch classes right then and there. With his lightning build active, he declares the time for being polite is officially over, because there are other ways to prove your strength, much to the director's surprise. His friends are absolutely losing their minds, asking what on earth he is doing. He is invoking a school tradition, the right to a public 1v1 challenge. which is a straight-up provocation, a direct challenge to the top dog, and everyone knows Gong Ting is way too arrogant to ever turn it down. Gong Ting looks ready for it, seeing a chance to crush his rival publicly, while Si Chen knows a victory here will solve his recruitment problem instantly. Just then, a voice from the back asks if his team still needs a member. A new girl wants in on the graduation assessment, and she is walking right toward him. She introduces herself as Ling Yu, a former D rank, so she will not be dead weight. His friends are just floored, wondering how Si Chen knows someone this awesome, and even Gong Ting's crew is panicking, completely blindsided by this development. Director Gong Xuan is so shocked he is about to crush his thermos. This is not going to plan. She just strolls down the aisle like she owns the place, not a care in the world. As the crowd starts whispering, that is a genius exchange student from another kingdom. Suddenly, the director objects, saying she is not qualified to participate. He lays out the technicalities: no local rank test, no official report, so her joining is against the rules. Suddenly, the principal teleports in, siding with director Gong Xuan's rules, and the director is absolutely floored, wondering why the top boss is even here. This principal immediately calls out Ling Yu, asking why an exchange student is interfering, which has Si Chen totally confused. A warrior class should not be able to teleport. This old man lectures her about fairness, and she just smirks like it is the best joke she has ever heard. Our boy activates his analysis skill, trying to get a read on these two powerhouses, but his system comes up with nothing. Their ranks are a total mystery. Gong Xuan immediately starts sucking up, praising the principal's dedication to tradition, prompting a grand speech about the university's noble purpose of training elites, and how this assessment is a critical turning point in a student's life. Then he drops the hammer, asking if the school can afford to let special factors ruin someone's chance, a thinly veiled threat that has Gong Xuan sweating absolute bullets. This director realizes this whole power play might be specifically to protect Si Chen, and he wisely decides not to butt heads with the actual head of the school. In his head, he tells his nephew the training wheels are off, good luck with that. Publicly, Gong Xuan does a complete 180, blaming a random office for the oversight, before announcing that all teams can now register, completely reversing his own dumb rule. With that, Si Chen's team is officially formed, their wristbands lighting up in sync. This whole squad is ecstatic, finally able to compete and making Si Chen their captain. From the sidelines, the principal notes Ling Yu's surprisingly strong interest in our boy. This stage is set, Gong Ting's elite squad versus Si Chen's band of misfits, and the principal is watching this whole showdown like it is premium entertainment. An official announces that team captains can now select their Devil's Cave dungeon, and not even a second later a submission alert dings, someone's eager. This crowd is stunned to see it was Si Chen's team that locked in their choice, but the shock turns to pure horror once they see what he actually picked. His own teammates are having a full-blown meltdown, begging him to take it back, while Si Chen just stares ahead, looking like he is ordering a coffee. This assessment is simple: enter a dungeon, kill a bunch of monsters for points, with scoring based on mob clears, a boss kill, and completion time. Higher-ranked caves also come with score multipliers for the ambitious, meaning an E-rank cave is the only path to a perfect 100 and a guaranteed guild contract. This team's MVP even gets a management position and a fat cash bonus, no pressure. Students whisper that the school record is 90, since E-rank caves are basically suicide runs. And all eyes are on Gong Ting's crew as the top contenders to break that record. When another student gets the same instant submission notification, he is just as shocked to see it as Si Chen's team making the move. But when he checks the screen, he sees they did not pick E-rank, they picked D-rank. This display confirms it: our boy has selected a challenge way above his pay grade, and the whole room is freaking out. No graduate has ever done that, he must have hit the wrong button. Si Chen's friend is absolutely losing it, asking if he knows what he just did. Another teammate is just a puddle on the floor, having a full-blown meltdown over joining a madman. His wristband confirms the choice, and he is already looking for the exit door on this team. This glasses-wearing friend tries again, spelling out just how suicidal a D-rank cave is. But Si Chen is completely unbothered, confirming he has thought it all through. And just like that, the submission is in right alongside Gong Ting's team, who also picked D-rank. Gong Ting's squad locks in their choice, setting up a direct clash of ambitions. This entire auditorium erupts, two teams picking D-rank is unheard of. Over in the VIP section, Gong Ting's crew looks smug, ready for the entertainment. One of his teammates sneers that Si Chen's group is just trash pretending to be treasure. They are just desperate for attention, since they are dead last anyway. A pathetic move that she predicts will make his new team implode on the spot. Back with our boys, the friend with glasses is just staring, trying to understand the logic. He notices a powerful new aura around Si Chen, a look of pure determination. After a moment of silence, his trust in his friend seems to be winning out. He hits agreed, declaring he will follow Si Chen to the very end. Even the panicking guy agrees, figuring they might as well go down in a blaze of glory. This last member, the dorm boss, is still hesitating though. He is having a minor crisis about being the last one to jump on this crazy train. Finally, he caves and agrees too, yelling it is time to go nuts. The whole team is all in. This system dings, locking in their D-rank suicide mission for all to see. Si Chen turns to his newly committed team, who look like they are ready for a group hug or a group therapy session. He apologizes, admitting he picked the hardest difficulty just to snag the MVP title, and now that he has dragged them all down with him. He declares they are gonna aim for the highest score together. What a great pep talk. From across the auditorium, Gong Ting makes his own announcement. The MVP is his. Si Chen just gives him a look while his glasses-wearing friend is still rebooting. With glowing eyes, Gong Ting says there can only be one strongest student in the school. His teammate is actually impressed, noting she has never seen him this fired up before. Their little power struggle is now officially out in the open for everyone's entertainment. Up in the stands, the principal muses on the fearlessness of youth, but the woman beside him calls it pure arrogance, saying a C rank cannot clear a D rank cave. A quick infographic shows the D rank cave offers a massive score multiplier, though it is also exponentially harder, making it a terrible choice for this team. This principal notes they only have half a month until the assessment begins, while other students are shown grinding in high-tech combat simulations, and the woman just hopes Si Chen's team can at least put up a decent fight before they get flattened. Cut to 17 days before the test, and our boy's team is just running laps on a track. His friend is completely wiped, complaining that everyone else is in training rooms while they are doing P. Si Chen's master plan involves dodgeball and sprints because this graduation exam is apparently a triathlon now. Si Chen explains that all their virtual combat practice is basically useless, because in a real dungeon, fear is the only thing that matters, not theory, and when a monster is about to eat you, it all comes down to pure instinct. This whole P-class from hell is just to sharpen that gut reaction for the real fight. He says the school's simulations are a joke, only a real devil's cave offers proper training, but of course only the privileged elites get to use those for practice. A flash shows Gong Ting effortlessly carving up monsters with a light blade, as his team uses these private dungeons to maintain their top dog status. Turns out Gong Ting was just born better than everyone else. What a shocker. These elites possess powers and resources the common folk can only dream of. His friend finally snaps, asking what chance people with nothing even have. Si Chen's answer is simple: get the highest score and shatter the class hierarchy. This glasses-wearing friend gets it. This assessment is their one shot to leapfrog the competition, and for Si Chen it is his best chance to overtake them all too. With total conviction, he promises his team they are going to win this. Jump to 15 days left, and Si Chen is fighting cosmic panthers in some other dimension, where his secret training seems to involve getting absolutely shredded, taking hit after brutal hit as the countdown ticks down to 10 days. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the team is still just running laps, looking miserable. Another quick flash shows him getting clawed again. This training looks rough. Gong Ting continues his elite training, slicing up monsters with 5 days left. While Si Chen's team is still doing basic push-ups, the clock now at 3 days. With just 2 days to go, Gong Ting strikes a dramatic pose amidst some flames, but Si Chen's brutal secret training pays off, unlocking his lightning assassin class. On the final day, he is bloodied, but his eyes are blazing, ready for the real battle. It is finally assessment day, and a cute little drone welcomes the examinees. Si Chen pulls on his combat gloves, getting into the zone for what is to come, as his team follows him down the hall, all looking grimly determined. A massive flash of light signals the official start of the graduation assessment. Meanwhile, over at the admin building, some very fancy cars are pulling up. This principal is there to shake hands with Chairman Gong, who is none other than Gong Ting's father. This is Gong Lin, co-founder of the Empire Guild, looking incredibly smug. Students watching from above are totally freaking out, fawning over the guild big shot. Then they spot a limo and wonder who could possibly warrant a personal greeting from these two powerhouses. And out steps a sharply dressed man with reddish hair, looking like pure authority. He is introduced as Carl Cavendish, vice chairman of the World Guild Alliance. Okay, the stakes just went way up. These students are having a collective meltdown. The second most powerful man in the world is here. It all makes sense now why the area was on lockdown for these once-in-a-lifetime VIPs. Everyone knows that impressing these guys means an instant ticket to the top tier of society. And an official begins the ceremony, announcing 184 students across 28 teams are participating. This VIPs watch a screen breaking down the choices. Most teams took the easy F-rank route. And this new big shot Sigrid seems pretty skeptical about the 2 teams that picked D rank. She is basically asking if the school even told these kids that D rank is for actual pros. And the principal confirms they did, adding that most students can barely handle the tutorial level. We see a student in an F-rank cave fighting what looks like a very angry lizard, but even the F-rank boss monster is a huge struggle for a whole team. Inside an E-rank cave, however, things are way worse. Every single mob is a boss-level threat. A team is about to get swarmed by a nightmare army of stag beetle spiders. And one student is having a full-on panic attack, realizing E-rank is an impossible task. Sigrid then asks the million-dollar question, are there any safety measures at all? This principal says not to worry, students are a precious resource, which is why they have armed guards on standby. These guards will intervene if things get too dicey because lawsuits are expensive. Plus, every student's wristband is a panic button with a built-in teleport function, which one kid immediately uses, screaming that he is forfeiting the whole assessment. A whole team gets zapped out of the dungeon, crying about how scary it was. So much for glory. With all that in mind, Sigrid is now genuinely curious about the 2 D-rank teams. This principal is also curious, but more in a let us see how long they last kind of way. On the live feed, he scoffs at a team in the snow, predicting they will tap out any second. Then we cut to see Chen's team entering their D-rank cave, the peak of the cloud forest. And their first welcome wagon is a ghost bat monkey, which looks exactly as horrifying as it sounds. Si Chen gives the rundown on their first enemy, the ghost bat monkey, a fast-moving nightmare. From above, a massive shadow falls over the team, looks like the welcome party's here. A whole swarm of the flying monstrosities dive bombs them immediately. He screams a warning, but the attack is already happening. One of his teammates gets absolutely blasted by the first pass, while the panicking guy eats snow just to stay alive. Even the glasses-wearing friend is pulling off some desperate acrobatics. They are all just shocked they survived, which is a pretty low bar for success. Another monster crashes into the ground, and the dorm boss just stares in disbelief, because Si Chen just instantly solo-killed 3 of them without breaking a sweat. With glowing eyes, he tells his team they are too weak and to just huddle in a corner, then announces he is handling the rest and zips off in a flash of lightning. His friends are immediately back to dodging for their lives, and the dorm boss gets slammed hard into a tree. It finally clicks, all that P training was just so they could be professional dodgeball targets, which triggers a full-blown identity crisis for the guy who thought he was the leader. Meanwhile, Si Chen is a one-man wrecking crew tearing the horde apart, but more of these angry flying monkeys just keep coming. He blitzes right through them with crackling yellow energy, becoming a literal blur of death as he carves them up midair. This dorm boss is in total shock. He never actually believed Si Chen was strong, but watching him fight, he realizes this guy is way beyond a mere graduate. Si Chen is a blur of lightning, a true warrior tearing through the swarm, which triggers a full-on crisis for the dorm boss, who feels completely left in the dust. Just then, another teammate screams a warning about a monster from behind, but the dorm boss intercepts it with a flaming fist. No more dodging for him. He grabs the creature midair with a fiery grip and declares they cannot just be dead weight for Si Chen anymore. His teammates get the message, their faces grim with resolve, because this is their graduation assessment too, damn it. This green energy user agrees, powering up his own attack, unleashing a vine lock spell to trap one of the monsters. Thorny vines wrap tight around the bat monkey, which immediately screeches and shreds them to pieces like they are nothing. This caster is stunned, his best move just got completely ignored, so the glasses-wearing friend steps up, casting a frost breeze to slow it down, then calls for a team attack while the monsters chilled. This green energy guy charges up a punch, ready for round 2, as they combine their powers into a frost and vine combo trap, setting up the dorm boss to deliver the final fiery blow. This dorm boss goes for broke, launching a burst flame bullet. It connects with a massive fiery explosion, but the monster just screeches and keeps on coming. He is stunned by how tough it is, unloading another volley of fireballs, which also hit their mark but barely seem to slow the thing down. Meanwhile, the green energy user is about to pop a blood vessel holding the trap, and the glasses wearer is also at his absolute limit, so the dorm boss decides to go full-on spirit bomb, gathering all his power. His face contorted with effort, he is putting everything into this one shot, unleashing a final massive blast that engulfs the entire area. A little drone pops up to say congrats, they killed exactly 1 monster. And the team celebrates like they just won the Super Bowl, screaming in victory. Si Chen just watches them from the sidelines, completely silent. One of them even asks if he saw their amazing kill as a loot drop appears. With a smug grin, the dorm boss declares it was a piece of cake. Sure it was, buddy. Then Si Chen gets a notification, all enemies in the cave have been killed. Back in the control room, the principal is absolutely losing his mind, because his live feed shows these trash students actually took down a D-rank monster. This other VIPs, however, are just watching with quiet intensity, and Carl Cavendish notes that one young man is performing excellently and he is not talking about the guys on the ground. Carl Cavendish is zeroed in on Si Chen's face on the monitor, noting that our boy looks a lot like an old acquaintance. He even makes a point to remember Si Chen's name, which is definitely a sign. Chairman Gong, meanwhile, is just staring daggers, completely silent, and the principal is practically having a stroke trying to recover from his bad call, so he quickly pivots to the other D-rank team to change the subject. On screen, Gong Ting's team is a blur of coordinated attacks, prompting Sigrid to note their teamwork is almost at a professional guild level. Even Carl seems impressed, commenting on the quality of the graduates this year, which lets the principal get all smug again, saying the real show is just starting. Gong Ting's team faces off against some angry-looking miasma poison mushrooms, while their support player busts out a guitar to cast Elegy of Decay, a literal battle bard. Another teammate gathers the debuffed monsters with a purple energy pull, sucking them all into a stellar attraction for an easy kill. This sets up Gong Ting perfectly for the final blow, who unleashes a massive blazing sky sever that just obliterates everything. A hero shot reveals Gong Ting's class, Nuclear Warrior Subtle. His teammates are just chilling, saying it is easy since they trained on these exact monsters, and one guy smirks, realizing the whole assessment was rigged for them from the start. With their victory practically guaranteed, they head off to find the boss, oozing confidence. Si Chen leads his team through the blizzard, eyes fixed on the peak. They finally make it to the apex, shocked they have actually survived this long. And there is the boss, a massive wounded ice ghost ape surrounded by its fallen kin. His teammates are already calculating their odds of survival, which are approximately 0. This ape glares back with glowing red eyes, looking very, very hungry. It spots them, and the glasses wearer immediately starts panicking. As the monster charges, everyone scatters except for Si Chen, who just stands his ground. Our boy meets the charge with a lightning-infused kick straight to the face. This ape gets absolutely launched, smashing hard into a wall of ice. Before it can even recover, Si Chen is already on it again. He unleashes a brutal flurry of attacks, not giving it a single inch. In a flash of yellow light, the D-rank boss is just gone. His friends can only stare, their brains completely short-circuiting at the sight. Si Chen just calmly checks his loot drop over the boss's corpse. He is actually disappointed. The exp sucks and the drops are garbage. But then a teammate screams about finding a huge stash of mana stones. They are all freaking out over a massive rock formation nearby. Turns out the trash boss was guarding a giant glittering crystal vein. This team is already planning their retirement, drooling over the potential fortune. Si Chen, however, looks horrified and tells them to wait. Of course, one of the guys just has to touch the shiny crystal. And the whole team gets hit with a blinding flash of light. But Si Chen already knows what is coming. It is a trap. This entire crystal vein explodes in a massive ice burst bomb, instantly flash freezing his teammates into human popsicles. Back in the control room, their monitor cuts to static signal lost. This principal smirks, gloating that the trash fell for it and their test is over, then immediately backpedals to "we must save them" when Sigrid calls him out on it. But Carl Cavendish tells everyone to just wait a minute, pointing out that their vitals are still normal and no one has forfeited. He insists the choice to quit should be left to the students themselves. Meanwhile, the glasses-wearing friend is alive but freezing his butt off. He is only okay because he is an ice user, but his friends are completely encased, and that is when a massive skeletal shadow looms over him with a creepy laugh. It is the real boss of the cave, a terrifying ice lick, who seems to be enjoying the view of its next frozen meal. This kid recognizes it from the Monster Encyclopedia, a sadistic mage that toys with its prey. It is the Frostbone Skeleton King, and that ice bomb was its welcome gift. Realizing he is facing a C-rank Lord Monster, he makes the smart choice and runs for his life, while Si Chen, completely unfrozen, watches from a high ledge, planning his move. This glasses-wearer tries to run but gets an ice shard straight through the leg. While the Frostbone Skeleton King just laughs at his pathetic escape attempt, he collapses, getting a system prompt asking if he'd like to forfeit now. But he screams "I refuse," determined to break Si Chen out of the ice, mustering a purifying origin spell, hoping it'll be enough to save him. His reward for this bravery is another ice shard right through the shoulder. This purification fails and he faceplants in the snow, a total disaster. This Skeleton King is just having the absolute time of its unlife, launching a fresh volley of ice bone spikes for good measure. Another hit lands and the system politely asks again if he is ready to quit yet, but the very idea of forfeiting just makes him furious. A flashback hits. He has always been bullied, always been the one left behind. He remembers they risked their lives just to get here, and this was supposed to be their one shot at changing their fate. With glowing eyes, he decides he is absolutely not giving up now. So he gets back on his feet, trying the purification spell one more time, screaming as he pours every last ounce of his power into it. This Skeleton King's attacks are suddenly deflected by the sheer force of his will. Inside the ice, Si Chen's prison begins to crack under the intense light, and with a final, desperate push, the entire crystal shatters. This glasses-wearer is absolutely shredding his vocal cords, pouring everything into the spell, when suddenly a pair of golden eyes flash from inside the ice, and Si Chen erupts in a divine flash, completely shattering his frozen prison. This Skeleton King's jaw practically unhinges in shock as our boy swoops in to catch his falling friend midair. His buddy jokes that Si Chen had to save himself in the end, but Si Chen just gives him props and checks his wounds. This teammate quickly warns him about the C-rank boss, saying they cannot get frozen again, only to get a look from Si Chen that shuts him right up. Meanwhile, the boss launches another massive ice bomb because why not, cackling like it is the funniest thing in the entire world. His friend is already writing their obituary, screaming about the impossible dodge, and the giant ball of frozen death barrels right for them, except it just stops, hanging in the air like a party decoration. This Skeleton King's victory laugh dies in its throat, realizing its ultimate attack is being held back by an invisible wall of energy. Turns out Si Chen has a frost physique. He is literally immune to cold. This boss's face is a perfect picture of "my life is a lie," and his friend is having a full-blown meltdown since Si Chen is supposed to be a lightning user. He finally connects the dots. Our boy is a 1-in-a-million dual-class monster. This friend's brain finally catches up. Si Chen is a dual-class awakener, but our boy's already apologizing for the screw-up, initiating a class switch. With a clenched fist, the transformation completes. No more mistakes. He is now Purgatory Cassiopeia, wielding a gnarly scythe and ready to end this. His buddy can only stare, his entire worldview shattering in real time. A quick mental recap reminds him that everyone gets one class, and only a 1 in 10 million freak of nature gets two. These guys are so rare they are basically walking lottery tickets for guilds. So yeah, his friend is having a completely normal one about this revelation. Si Chen just calmly counts his classes. First there was lightning, then came the ice immunity, which makes 2, and now this makes 3 classes. The math is not mathing for anyone. Every single one feels terrifyingly strong with maxed out stats to boot. He slams his power into the ground, erupting in a pillar of pure energy. Then swings his scythe in a massive arc right at the Skeleton King. His friend remembers the boss's overwhelming pressure from just moments ago. Yet under Si Chen's blade, that same boss looks absolutely terrified. A triple gravity strike just completely erases it from existence, leaving nothing but dissolving fragments in its wake, and the victory screen pops up exp level up and a shiny new weapon. His friend is still processing how Si Chen just one-shot a C-rank lord. Si Chen just asks if he has got enough juice to unfreeze their friends while the guy looks dead on his feet. That snaps him out of it and he sprints off screaming their names, a true hero's journey. But our boy notices a little prompt over the boss's remains, devourable. With glowing red eyes, he reaches out a hand to claim his prize, and just starts absorbing the Skeleton King's entire essence, as one does. His fist crackles, absolutely humming with all that new power. This system confirms Devour complete, unlocking a whole new class from the boss's soul. A sly look crosses his face, pretty pleased with this unexpected upgrade, thinking it is a good thing he froze the cameras so no one saw his secret abilities. Suddenly, a yellow system notification glitches into view. His Lightning Assassin class hits 100% proficiency, netting him a fresh attribute point. He is a little confused, wondering what this new star he just obtained is. Meanwhile, we cut to another team in a completely different high-risk cave. Things are going significantly worse for them, getting absolutely ragdolled by vines. They are fighting a massive D-rank plant monster, a Flora Mage, and their main brawler is already at his limit, screaming that he cannot hold it back. Their archer lets loose a volley of lightning-infused arrows, which just bounce right off. The monster's defense is way too high. A massive tentacle whip sends the entire team flying, a total party wipe in progress. This team is in full panic mode, screaming they are completely out of their league. Their only hope is their guild master, Gong Ting, who is currently charging up. His teammates pour every single buff they have into him as the plant hydra waits. With glowing red eyes, Gong Ting decides he is finally ready to go Super Saiyan. He unleashes a fiery dash, moving like a comet straight for the boss. A clean slice right across the monster's neck leaves a trail of pure destruction, and he screams for it to burn to ashes just to be dramatic about it. This whole cave goes up in a massive, blinding explosion of light. His incinerating blade-piercing burst absolutely vaporizes the place, a very subtle technique. Back on the ground, his team is already celebrating their epic win like total fanboys. A victory screen confirms they cleared a D-rank cave in 35 minutes flat, a new record. They are already gloating about their perfect score as they head out to check the leaderboards. Cut to the waiting area where the team's leader is bragging about their speed. He then spots the other teams and laughs that anyone out this early must be trash who forfeited. Meanwhile, the trash is having a full-blown PTSD flashback in the corner, poor guy. Another student is just completely traumatized, shaking and crying about how terrifying it was. This arrogant team leader spots a familiar group sitting by themselves, and a smug, condescending smirk spreads across his face. It is Si Chen's team, and this guy's already mocking them for bailing early. He strolls right up to them, calling out Si Chen's name with a look that just screams trouble. This arrogant punk starts mocking Si Chen's team for finishing early, calling them failures, but his guild master, Gong Ting, tells him to cool it. Because a group of VIPs just arrived, led by the vice chairman himself. This fancy-suited man is practically vibrating with excitement, praising an outstanding performance he just witnessed today, and he starts walking down the hall right between the two rival teams. Gong Ting's crew is absolutely buzzing, realizing a world-class powerhouse is here, and he is heading their way. Gong Ting even puts out a hand for a shake. And the vice chairman blows right past him without a single glance, brutal. He is actually heading straight for Si Chen, much to everyone's confusion, revealing that someone cleared a D-rank cave in a staggering 21 minutes. He personally congratulates Si Chen, saying that is a record even pro guilds would envy, which sends the loudmouth from before into a full-blown, face-melting meltdown. Si Chen just stands there, completely unfazed, while his team geeks out behind him. Our boy recognizes the guy, Carl Cavendish, vice chairman of the World Guild Alliance. Carl asks for Si Chen's name, confirming the trip was worth his time, then gives Gong Ting a condescending little shout-out for also doing a good job, which Gong Ting's father humbly accepts with a polite smile, before giving his son a look that just screams, "You are a disappointment." Having found his prodigy, Carl decides it is time to head out, leaving everyone stunned. Carl is just gushing to the principal about finding two once-in-a-millennium prodigies, so the principal steps up to announce the results, a perfect score tie, and Si Chen's team absolutely loses it, screaming because they made it into the Empire Guild. Everyone's celebrating their one-way ticket to the top except for a very pouty Gong Ting. This deal gets even sweeter. Both captains get management spots and split $1 million in prize money, which leads to an intense stare-down between our two rivals. Si Chen's already crunching the numbers, realizing 500k is not enough to keep a promise he made, but Gong Ting is not having any of this sharing nonsense, declaring there can only be one champ. He then demands a one-on-one tiebreaker to settle things for good. This little outburst sends the adults into a state of total shock. This entire room just stares, completely stunned by the sudden challenge. His dad tries to shut him down, insisting a tie is the perfect outcome, no need for drama, when Si Chen suddenly cuts in with a very important question, asking if a win means he gets to keep the entire 1 million prize. This principal does a full-on spit take at this kid's priorities. Gong Ting's ego immediately agrees, beat him and the cash is all yours. Carl, the vice chairman, is just eating this up, finding the whole thing incredibly interesting. With the two prodigies facing off, he declares the show is not over just yet. Si Chen looks his rival dead in the eye, asking how they are going to settle this. Meanwhile, some fancy new guy on a couch muses that Si Chen did not just win, he shattered all expectations. This fancy couch guy tells Si Chen to forget the 1.5 million debt, calling it an angel investment. Si Chen just sits there looking completely unimpressed by the generous offer. But our boy is all about honor, insisting a debt must be paid back in full. He then lays out his own agenda for this little meeting, having 2 points to make. First, he needs a 1-week extension on the loan since he only got half the prize money. Explaining the tiebreaker duel with Gong Ting is set for a week from now in a devil's cave. This investor dude absolutely loses his mind. 2 students entering a devil's cave is suicide. Our boy just brushes off the concern, totally confident he will win and get his cash. He even offers up all the loot from the cave as interest for the extension. What a deal. This guy is just floored, realizing Si Chen is more worried about interest rates than a death trap. But the investor has another, more important reason for this meeting, and Si Chen is all ears, looking dead serious. This mood in the room gets super tense all of a sudden. We then cut to a high school on a sunny afternoon. A student stretches, ecstatic that final exams are finally over, pulling out her phone, ready for summer vacation to begin. But then she remembers something important. Her lock screen shows a picture of her and Si Chen. It is his graduation assessment day. This triggers a flashback to 4 years ago when he got his Awaken University acceptance letter, and his little sister asked if he'd be an Awakener just like their parents. Back in the day, he promised his sister he'd get rich and give her a better life. He even hoped to uncover the truth about their parents' disappearance. His sister is his biggest fan, absolutely sure he is gonna be a legend. But the reality was he was a senior and still had not awakened his powers. She tries to tell him it is totally fine, but Si Chen just puts on a brave face, saying he needs to work harder. She recalls how he worked harder than anyone, yet was the only one who never awakened. Thinking back, she realizes he must have felt so alone, but he never let it show. A friend suddenly pops up, snapping her out of her thoughts, and this girl is all hyped up, gossiping about 2 new geniuses from the university. Apparently, both led their teams to perfect scores and got praised by the vice chairman in person. Then she drops the million-dollar question, "Hey, is not your brother at that school?" Just then, some smooth-looking guy with pink hair interrupts, greeting Xiao Yun directly, and he has already booked a private penthouse room, just assuming she is free at 8. Real subtle. Her friend is losing her mind over how she knows the school idol, but Xiao Yun's face goes completely dark, and she just turns and runs for it, leaving them completely stunned, while her friend shouts after her, completely baffled by the sudden sprint. Her mind flashes to her brother crying over his failure, and she decides she has to go make a feast to cheer him up. That night inside their rented apartment, a massive, glorious hot pot feast is laid out, ready for a celebration. Si Chen walks in, completely floored by the celebratory feast his sister made. He is happily chowing down on hot pot while she watches, thinking he is hiding his failure. Meanwhile, the evening news starts a report on the university's graduation assessment. Our boy is just enjoying his meal, totally tuning out the TV. His sister watches, convinced he is just acting tough to hide how crushed he is. But then the news drops a bombshell, a rare dual champion result. They show Carl Cavendish at a press conference, singling out one student for praise, and the anchor names that student as Si Chen, making Xiao Yun freeze mid-thought. She whips around, eyes wide with utter shock. Her brain just cannot compute her brother, the one she thought failed, got a perfect score. Suddenly, we cut to a much darker scene with a whip on a blood-stained floor. It is Gong Ting's dad looming over his son after a little disciplinary session. He is absolutely furious, telling Gong Ting he completely botched the performance. This verbal beatdown continues. He lost to a no-name brat. What a disgrace. From now on, Dad's in charge, revealing he has already arranged the tiebreaker. Gong Ting just takes the abuse, head bowed in shame. His father is practically vibrating with rage, declaring first place belongs to their family, period. Back at the apartment, the news report is still playing, highlighting the twin geniuses. Carl's praise for one of the champions echoes from the TV, and Xiao Yun stares, finally realizing her brother is not a failure, he is a freaking hero. Xiao Yun just stares at the TV, her mind completely blown. As the news anchor confirms the perfect score genius is her brother, Si Chen, Carl's face is on screen, personally praising Si Chen's incredible performance. So she finally turns to him, stammering to ask if it is really him, and our boy just casually says, "Yeah, what is up?" like it is another Tuesday. Her chopsticks immediately clatter to the floor in absolute shock, followed by a perfectly timed, dramatic lightning flash outside. Her brain is just rebooting, trying to process the impossible. Realizing he did not just pass, he got a perfect score and a VIP endorsement. A very, very different kind of silence now fills the room, and she starts to cry, but this time with a smile on her face, because her brother, the one she pitied, actually made it to the top. Si Chen just looks back, probably very confused by the sudden waterworks. Meanwhile, on that same night, a different kind of dinner is taking place, with that pink-haired school idol from before enjoying some premium beef. And he asks his associate for a progress report with a smug little smile. Across the table sits a serious blonde woman in a trench coat addressed as Kite, who hands over a device containing all the reports they have compiled so far. Inside is a top-secret file on a mysterious target known as the Devourer, and it comes with a chilling note: their target might already know they are being watched. This pink-haired idol casually tells his associate to eat up, but Kite has one more thing to report, revealing she has noticed a suspicious person who recently made contact with him. This target's power is growing at a frankly terrifying rate, so abnormal it is setting off all the alarms. And meanwhile, Si Chen is inside the Devil Tower, already clearing the first floor. His stats are juiced, especially his speed, and he is now used to 10x gravity. He has figured out that using a class increases its proficiency, earning him a bonus star. Which means none of his 4 classes are even close to maxed out. He immediately sinks that point into speed, pushing it to an rank assassin's level. But even so, he is up against a pack of glowing cosmic panthers, and they are absolutely ready to pounce. This pack's leader is a massive lion lord, a boss he cannot even manage to hit. With a collective roar, the lionesses charge in. So Si Chen powers up, unleashing his divine flash, and a massive lightning bolt cracks the sky. He has discovered the lord's strange ability. Whenever he finds an opening to attack, this boss just vanishes in a flash of light, only to reappear next to the lioness furthest away. This tactic keeps their formation perfect, 2 up close, 2 in reserve. Si Chen clocks the Lion King's strategy. It always stays as far away as possible, and he realizes this boss is a total coward, never getting its own paws dirty. This kid's just trying to figure out what kind of cheap shot class this lion even has. When another cosmic panther lunges forward to attack, so our boy charges up his lightning, ready to meet it head-on. He grabs the thing right by the jaw, a shocking handshake you could say, but just as he is about to finish it, the lioness vanishes in a flash of purple light. And it is the same annoying trick every time he goes for the kill, they just poof. This target reappears right next to its boss, completely unharmed. This moment he pauses, another one charges in to bait him into a pointless attack. So Si Chen powers up again, looking absolutely done with this nonsense. He zips across the battlefield in a blur of yellow and purple energy, but the pack just maintains its flawless, infuriating formation. This whole fight is just an endless cycle of him attacking a minion, only for it to vanish at the last possible second, shifting back to the boss through a convenient little portal. Then another one immediately dives in to continue the assault, forcing him to dodge again, getting worn down by this hit-and-run game. It is a war of attrition, an endless loop designed to exhaust him completely. Si Chen is already panting, his eyes burning with pure annoyance at this guy. This lion lord is just toying with him, a total power trip. But then Si Chen gets a brilliant, game-changing idea. Why is he even trying to outspeed these teleporting cats? So midair he decides to switch things up, class change initiated. If the boss will not fight him head-on, fine, he will just use a mage class to wipe the floor with them, and just like that he becomes the Frostcore Monarch, looking absolutely epic. His first move is to summon a massive Frostspike Storm, which absolutely obliterates the battlefield, forcing the pack to scatter. From a safe distance, the Lion Lord just watches the chaos unfold. Si Chen knows mages are squishy, but at range they are gods. Another wave of ice shards rains down on the panicking boss, yet it still manages to zap one of its minions to safety. This whole cowardly crew dives into a portal to escape the barrage. They are all huddled together now, trapped in a tiny safe spot. With his hand clenched, Si Chen prepares to spring his trap, giving the Lion Lord a little ice unicorn horn for its trouble. Above them, a massive frost-blessed bomb begins to form, leaving absolutely nowhere left for them to run or hide, and the boss can only look up and scream as its doom descends. This frost-blessed bomb just nukes the entire battlefield from above, followed by a massive shockwave that whites out the whole screen, and the entire pack is caught in the icy explosion, shattering on impact. Si Chen lands, already switching classes again, this time to Ash C, declaring with absolute certainty that the first floor fight is completely, totally over. He unleashes one final attack as a stellar warrior, the triple cataclysm, which slams down and wipes out the last of the minions for good. Even the Lion Lord is frozen solid, its form starting to fade away, until the cowardly boss just dissolves into nothingness. Si Chen now stands alone on the icy wasteland, the victor. His reward is a level up and some pretty sweet boss loot, but the system offers one more prize: this soul can be devoured. So our boy gets right to it, summoning a bright light over the corpse, demanding to know what kind of class the boss even had. This Lion Lord's very essence is ripped from its body and absorbed straight into Si Chen's waiting hand. This reveals the boss's class card, a stellar tamer, a type of tamer class he has never even heard of before, and now it all makes sense. The boss was weak, just hiding behind its pets the whole time. This class skills explain everything. It can forcibly tame beasts and teleport them around. And Si Chen immediately clocks the catch. The taming part relies on intimidation. Just as he absorbs this, the whole battlefield starts to shift around him, revealing the icy wasteland was just an illusion. This desert is the real first floor. He is surrounded by giant skeletons, wondering what the hell happened here, when a fiery pillar of light erupts in the distance, announcing that the door to the second floor has finally opened. But a low growl from the shadows tells him he is not quite done yet, so Si Chen whips around, sensing another presence nearby. His eyes land on a massive ribcage where a pair of purple eyes stare back, and out crawls the most fearsome, tiny fluffy lion cub trying its best to look tough. Si Chen just stares, lightning crackling, wondering how he missed this one, as he prepares to zap the little leftover into oblivion. Then he realizes the boss's contracted beast vanished, but this one did not, because it is wrapped in stellar chains, meaning the Lion King had it imprisoned. With a new sense of purpose, he powers up his lightning, and the poor little cub looks up, absolutely petrified. In a flash, Si Chen shatters its chains, sending the fluffball tumbling to the sand, telling the little guy he is going to give it back its freedom. He stands over the newly freed cub, asking if this desolate wasteland was its home. Si Chen lays some heavy trauma dumping on the cub about watching everyone die, telling the little fluffball he knows exactly what that is like, and with a final stay alive, he turns to leave for the next floor. But a sudden purple notification zings him from behind, revealing a beast contract request initiated by the cub itself. Our boy is completely blindsided, not expecting this at all. Because Lion King Leo is officially asking to join the team,